BAMBiz presents Elder Law Growth, the podcast that helps elder law and estate planning attorneys attract clients without wasting time or money. I'm your host, Jim Blake. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Elder Law Growth Podcast. This is part 2 of Jason and Geoff's session on incorporating AI into your practice, recorded live at this year's Estate Planning and Elder Law Marketing Summit in Orlando. In part 1, we introduced you to Grace, our virtual AI receptionist. So if you missed that, definitely go back and check it out. But in part 2, we're diving deeper into custom GPTs that can help you build systems and processes to grow your firm, a real AI podcast demo, and how Geoff is actually using AI in his practice every day. So let's get into it.
My God, I could talk about this for days, man. All right, so custom GPTs. Does anyone know what this is? Raise a hand. Does anyone know? Oh, cool. Like half the room. There's a third of the room. So how about people that know ChatGPT? Raise your hand if you know ChatGPT. All right, cool, awesome. So within ChatGPT, essentially, you're able to build what's called a custom GPT. It's super simple. It sounds complicated, but it's not. You actually have 2 ways to do it. You can either prompt it and tell it what you want it to do, and it'll build out the instructions for you. Or you can go to configure, and it's super simple. You just put the instructions that you want it to do. And what I have been wanting to introduce at BAMBiz is something that we're going to soon be implementing, which is really great. And I know Geoff is doing this as well, is for your firm to grow and to scale, you need to appreciate SOPs. You need to essentially build out procedures that every person at your practice is going to be doing. If you need more receptionists, instead of getting someone to just sit there and listen to someone take calls all day until they're ready to do it, it's better to find that talent and then show them your ways operationally. But typically, most firms will just have that person shadow. Well, my approach is, why not have that person record a lot of Loom videos, take those transcripts, turn those into, put them in ChatGPT, give it a framework of, this is what we do internally. So take your Loom videos, take those transcripts, put them in, have a framework for your SOP, keep your SOP somewhere. We use Notion, it's a pretty awesome platform. And then what you can then do essentially is, let's say you have a department. I have a sales department, for instance, and I have a lot of SOPs and I hire a new salesperson. Instead of me sitting there, I'd rather motivate them, coach them on new opportunities and things of that nature. But when they're wanting to learn how we at BAMBiz do things, essentially, I have all my SOPs built out into a sales custom GPT, essentially. It has all the SOPs in its knowledge base, and essentially has a direct link to the Loom videos and the instructions for the people to learn a little bit more. And so let's say someone is in their day and they're like, how does BAMBiz typically do this process? Well, instead of emailing me or slacking me or something of that nature, or calling me or texting me, if it's something that's they know there's an SOP out there for it, but they just don't know where to find it because there's so many SOPs out there, they can just prompt this custom GPT, here's my problem, and it will tell them, hey, this is the SOP that's going to help you with that problem. Here's the link to the SOPs. Here's the Loom video and things of that nature. And then it helps that user get the answer a lot faster than if I'm busy in a meeting or something of that nature. I can't help that person at that moment. And I know Geoff is kind of implementing at his practice right now as well.
We've been doing that as well. We use Trainual. You guys may have heard of that for our kind of employee handbook and for training and things of that nature. We have over 150 unique subjects within there. And those of you who, I see some people nodding when I mentioned Trainual, you also know the search feature in Trainual stuff. And so it's very difficult to find the stuff that you're looking for a lot of times. Whereas we've been going through taking everything out of Trainual and uploading it in this configuration. And now if somebody goes, hey, how do I use one of my work from home days, because we have a bank of those, type that in there. It gives you clear, okay, log into Paychecks, go to this section here, drop down there. This is where you'll find the thing, make the request. And so when another example, our intake team, when we're referring out cases that we don't handle, right? Where do you keep that list of referrals? Well, they have to find it, and so on. So now they just say, who do we refer to for personal injury if it's medical malpractice? Boom, immediately spits out 3 people. So, we use within Lawmatics a form that I have where you put the potential client's name, put the attorney that we're referring them to, and then it generates an email and copies them both on it automatically, which is a way that we're using to track our referrals out. So I can go to the and be like, hey, we sent you a lot of cases last year and we didn't see a lot of referrals back. So when, we believe in supporting people who support us. So if we're going to keep giving you this, we'd like to see some, some return. But in addition, that email introduction just makes it a lot more likely that client's actually going to end up talking to that attorney rather than just continuing to dial on their own. And for those of you out there, and I mean, I'm sure we all do, who send out, personal injury or any contingency cases where you can get a piece of that, it is nice to see that coming back in where you can track that you send it to that person. So that's just a way for our team. It makes it very easy for them to refer this stuff out because it's all just in the knowledge base. So, really anything you can think of, you can put in this knowledge base, and then it's just simple, plain English questions.
Yep.
Instead of having to search for things and reading through, exactly what you're looking for is what's spit out. So it makes it very efficient.
And the cool thing with this is just one example. There's a million different examples. Let's say you have different types of clients that, or internally, like you have different coworkers that speak different. One of the things that we love to do, for instance, is we like to do, Jim, help me out. I'm losing my train of thought. What is the self-assessment test that we do for people? The DISC profile. Thank you, Jim. We love doing DISC profiles for our employees, essentially, because it helps us identify how we work, how this person typically responds to things and how they typically deal with problems. It's a good way of knowing how everyone at the team does. If I took every one of those DISC profiles and built a custom GPT for my team, essentially, and put it in there, and I say, hey, this is what I need from Marin, or this is what I need from Nicole, but I want to make sure that I'm writing the email so that they love it and it doesn't sound too direct or not direct enough, but this is what I want from them, essentially, and this is what I need, and this is my goal ultimately. And I build a custom GPT on that knowledge base, and I tell it that it'll draft me the most beautiful email for Marin, for Fernando, for Anthony, for Jim. And that's something it matters to your team members, essentially. It's because it's the same message, but it's framed for them. It's the way that they engage with things, essentially. So if you do I know that's pretty popular in this space. If you do DISC profiles or some kind of assessment of your employees before they get fully onboarded, that's something you can do. It's limitless what you can think of. You can do this for clients. You could do this for, oh my God, it's too much. Honestly, it's something you should do. It's super easy. Again, if you're paying for ChatGPT Plus, which everyone should be, it's only $20 a month. Go in there, you'll see a section where it says custom GPTs or my GPTs. Click that button, and then you can start making your own, or you could see other people's public GPTs as well for drafting images, for different things, whatever the case might be. You could even search in there for a GPT that's already made out, but it's definitely something you guys should be playing with. It's so easy to implement. You can upload PDF, Word documents, Excel documents in its knowledge base, actual instructions, and then it just saves that stuff. And then you can share that custom GPT with your team. So it's not just a you thing. You can give it to anyone that pays for it or doesn't pay for it. There used to be a feature that was blocked, but now even free users can use a custom GPT that was built out by a Plus or Pro user, essentially, which is a big deal as well. So if you build it, give it to your team and let them play with it, and you don't have to repeat that again as well. And so now we're going to talk about, we have been talking about real world firm applications, What are what other ones that we wanted?
There's a few things that we're using it for. So in addition to the stuff we've been talking about, I use so we used to have this company where they would do a brand sound and they did voiceovers for our IVR. When you call in, it's welcome to the family first firm, and it has nice music playing in the background. But they charge you a licensing fee for that. It was $400 a month or something like this. So we got to the end of the contract. I was this is too expensive. I can't keep this. It's great, but I can't keep it. So there's a site out there that does AI voiceover, and it is 98% similar to what we had. There's AI music creation, and I created a little jingle that sounds great, very similar to what we had. Put this stuff together. We have it on our phone system. This is after we tell the previous company that we're not going to use them. A rep from that previous company emails me. He's I see you guys are still using our stuff. And so I'm going to, renew the contract. I was actually, we're not. And the fact that you couldn't tell a difference is just, proof that, I think what we have is pretty good and you're probably on the way out, buddy. But I mean, and the beautiful thing about that is, what the licensing is on that? There isn't any. You have to pay for 1 month of the service for whatever it is. I think it's SoundDraw, which is what we use for the voice, is $79 a month.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I forget which one we use for the music, but I pay for it for 1 month. Got the music, you have the license, it's yours. And so now we have those things that are playing and on our hold music or when someone calls for that initial phone tree thing. So, which we're looking at getting rid of, by the way, because I know I said I want someone to answer the phone. But the point of it is those are some things. Another thing that I think is really, really cool that you can use this for, especially if you're looking, well, I'll say with the Pro version, the stuff that I get from the Pro, I think is definitely better than what I've seen from the Plus. So it's more expensive, but I really think the value is there. But analysis of data. So I've been, we were wanting to see this year what the difference looked like in our different ad campaigns, because we run a bunch of them. And we use CallRail to be able to track the efficiency of all these different ad campaigns. So we downloaded a report from CallRail for every call that came in for this year, thousands of calls. We downloaded them from Lawmatics, all the matters that were created this year, all the contacts from people, and pulled it so we could basically sync up the phone numbers. My team was going to do this by hand. And it would have taken, I don't know, hours and hours and hours. Instead, I uploaded it to ChatGPT Pro and had them run it against itself. Now, full transparency, the first time, it just compared the one sheet against itself, and it wasn't good. And I was like, no, you didn't do it right. Here's what I need you to do differently. Second time, it compared them, but it obviously didn't add all the information from one of the sheets. So I was like, hey, the total count on this is wrong. There's this many on the spreadsheet, but you only added up to this lesser number. It's like, you're right, hang on. There were a few iterations, but ultimately came back with something that then I cross-checked to verify. And it was incredible because we were able to go and say, hey, look, these ad campaigns are not producing calls. They're not producing cases, consults, and they're not producing cases or, some version of that. So we were able to cut those and get rid of them. Additionally, if you want some really detailed financial analysis of your financials, print your P&Ls, your balance sheets, your statements of cash flow.
Yeah.
Important thing with that though, guys, and I don't know who here looks at that, don't ever look at a month by itself. Just please don't do that. Like, just when you're looking at numbers tell a story. The only way they tell a story is in comparison to other numbers. So you need months to show the direction that things are going. Like if I tell you, oh, our firm showed a $100,000 profit last month, you don't know if that's good or bad, if the previous month was $1 million or if it was 20. So it's really important to look at numbers in comparison to stuff. So that's what I give to ChatGPT. Ask it to analyze trends that we're seeing. So, hey, is there anything in our expenses that you're noticing is creeping up? Are there areas of our practice where you're seeing that the revenues are starting to dip, or there's like an aberration, and what would that be attributed to? What are you seeing in terms of seasonality trends, and how should that affect our marketing efforts? Things like this that, you may not actually think, but it's like helping you run your law firm like a business, which crazy idea, it is a business, but these are things that, you may be able to delay hiring a financial director or a CFO or someone like that, because this gives incredible insight into your numbers. And if you are using the Pro version, it is extensive.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a wall of text, and it does take a while to get through, but the insights are pretty incredible.
So what I've been doing recently with, I just paid for it again. I renewed yesterday. So I've had it for a month. Totally worth it. Again, you'd have to figure out first, play around with Plus, don't go straight into Pro. But what I've been doing recently with a lot of our existing clients that are doing workshops and are looking for other areas to do workshops out of, I'll literally just be like, hey, what's your demographic of people? What neighborhoods are you trying to target? And it will help me recommend for my clients like and if they're looking for like a low cost location, essentially like a community center or library that's within a 5-mile distance of like this location, essentially in these communities, I can prompt it out and it will literally give me the source, the links, the numbers, the reasons why. And like it goes so deep into the justification of why this is the case. I can't tell you guys enough, like if you're looking for where you should be hosting your workshop out of, you should always be thinking about, I need to be hosting them closer to the people I want to work with than closer to what's convenient for me. Just like everything that we're talking about today is always thinking about your clients and where they're located and bringing your business to them versus expecting them to bring their business to you super far away. So like essentially, if you can figure out like a low cost location that can facilitate a workshop location, and you have the contact information and everything, and all you have to do is just call the person. And in theory, you could have an AI agent do that for you. You could call the person and book the location on your behalf. That's becoming a thing now too. Like Google's rolling that out to Android users. So like in theory, you don't even have to do anything. You just have to say, here's the location, book it out for me. Here's the date and the time that I'm looking for, and do the thing. That's a reality that's coming out this year as well for a lot of people as well. So there's a lot of use cases for this where originally you would task an employee with this. They don't even know where to start with this. And instead you could prompt something that has an near infinite knowledge base of like your space, knows all the books written on what you guys do, knows all the information on what you guys know. And then you prompt that thing with the same task. Help me find something close to me that's actually going to help my business grow essentially, and watch that thing work instead. And as long as you're giving it the right question, like I said, it's just like everything in life, guys. Garbage in, garbage out. If you put low effort into an employee, if you tell them, hey, I want you to do this, no instructions, no nothing, they don't even know where to get the instructions, you can't expect much unless that person is already a superhero. Same thing with this. This thing is a superhero, but if you give it nothing, it's going to give you nothing in return. So spend a little bit of time. I always see people get so frustrated when they put 30 seconds of effort into a prompt and they're like, this is poopy. I don't want what this is. Like, this doesn't apply to me at all. It's like, well, why don't you spend about 5 minutes on that prompt and see what kind of results you get out of it instead, essentially. Where are we? I'm getting good at this. Oh, dude. Yeah. Can we talk about this?
That's amazing. So one thing that I'll touch on pretty briefly. So
we could do one on Jim.
Let's bring that up while I explain it. So
he's gonna hate this.
What I've been using recently is when I'm wanting to learn about a particular topic, and it's super, maybe like what it spits out is very dense and very long, and it's like more than I really want to spend the time reading. What I've been taking is copying that and putting it into something called Notebook LM. This is a free AI platform from Google. So if you have a Google account, you have access to Notebook LM. It's really, I think it was designed for like students to help, like they put their notes in, it helps create study guides and stuff like that. But one of the things that's really, really cool about it is you can do an audio overview. And so you put this information in, it also is its own Gemini AI. So it pulls in additional information that it knows and then generates like what is normally about a 20 to 25 minute podcast conversation between two people. And it sounds like two people, and it uses the language that you would expect to hear. It is unbelievably digestible and easy to listen to. So lately I've been taking books that I want to read that I haven't gotten time to. I'll go to ChatGPT Pro Deep Research. I'm like, find everything you can about this book. Provide me a summary such that like I would completely understand this by reading your summary. I take that, I put it into this Notebook LM. It creates a 20 to 25 minute overview of this book that I listen to on my drive home. And I go home fully understanding because it's so easy to absorb when you're just listening to two people conversing about. Do you have it up?
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys want to see Jim get read real quick? So I did this on him, essentially. I used my ChatGPT Pro. I was like, I want you to dive into everything Jim Blake, his books, his business, whatever you can find on the web. And it gave me a long history. Too much, man. I want to read it one day, but it's a little too much. But I was like, let me listen to a 20-minute podcast about him instead. And so this is it. I'm going to hopefully be able to play it into my mic.
Sometimes you stumble across these people just really shaking things up. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're looking at this marketing innovator just changing the game for lawyers.
Okay.
Specifically estate planning and elder law.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not just like getting more clients.
Right.
It's changing how those lawyers connect with and educate their client.
I see.
Kind of like building trust, making these services more accessible.
I could do that on any one of you guys.
Yeah.
I can make you all feel important today, guys.
Yeah. But they interrupt each other. They it sounds like people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Notebook LM, completely free if you have a Google account.
You
What?
just go to notebooklm.com and there you go.
I Google Notebook LM. I don't know
it's free. There is a paid version. The paid version has nothing that you guys would care to have, essentially. The free version is all you need, essentially.
So on the paid version, there is a beta where you can converse with it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, but you know.
Yeah. And so if you know APIs, we're getting super technical, but someone on your team probably knows this. You can actually take those people instead and actually have the podcasts, because it's transcripted out. You can have it where you can use a platform like 11 Labs and make it sound like you and someone else are talking to one another instead. But that's, yeah. So essentially that's what you could do with that in theory, which gets really weird because it's not you, but it is you, but it's not. It's, yeah, it's close enough. It's better than you. It's like you can do it all the time and you can have 1 million podcast episodes. Yeah, or you can even do that too.
For
There's some
voiceover.
yeah.
You
can do
you wouldn't be able to
voiceovers.
see, yet.
It's getting
coming.
there.
It's coming, but not yet.
I can show you some stuff. There's some weird stuff out there. Yeah. So there's a ton of use cases, right? Like take a book that you want to read, but you're never going to read. This guy does that all the time. This thing is amazing. I do this with every book now. I don't even need to buy the book. Like ChatGPT knows the book already. Like it just, hey, give me an entire detailed summary about this book. Thanks, ChatGPT. You saved me $20 on that book. And now I'm going to put it in Notebook LM and like hear a pretty cool podcast about it from these two like AI podcast agents, essentially.
It's always the same voice. It starts to like feel like you know them.
Yeah.
Like it's like the podcast you already listen to. They're like in this episode. I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. And so, yeah, definitely use this. Again, this is free. So you can literally use it right now. Use ChatGPT, get some good information out there, dump it in there, listen to some pretty cool podcasts. But that's definitely a cool use case, essentially. And now, last but not least, our clients have had this forever. And it's something that I don't know if they use it enough. So again, going back to custom GPTs, this is a custom GPT that we've built out for our clients, where it used to, the journey before this platform was, we have phenomenal content that is being made by our team that you guys need to be using that's not tailored for your firm though. The price point for marketing essentials is so competitive because it's just not being tailored for your practice. It would take so much work to do that essentially. And we do have a solution that's a higher cost for that. But we wanted to offer a solution so that you didn't have to pay us the most money ever to have our team do this on your behalf instead. So we came up with Essentials AI, which is essentially this custom GPT knows all our content, already knows it. You guys don't need to give it to it. It's that phenomenal content that we release every single month. It already knows. All you have to do is click this little button and say, click start. And it's going to ask you 6 questions, the most basic questions that you should be able to answer even intoxicated, which is, what is your name? What is your firm's name? What website? Do you do workshops? Do you only do estate planning and elder law? And do you want some good call to actions in the content, which you should always want call to actions, unless your state doesn't allow that for whatever reason, which is weird. Hopefully they change that soon. But you should always want the call to actions. And then it asks you, what do you want? Do you want like the blog posts tailored for your firm? Do you want the social content tailored for your firm? And essentially, it's not perfect every time. This tool is getting better, right? And I always tell users, don't ever get frustrated. If it's giving you wrong responses in a thread, don't use that same thread. That thread is deleted. Just get rid of it. Start it fresh. Take the same 6 answers, start a new one, and it'll work. I see a lot of people they're trying to work through a problem and it's not they're like spending 10 minutes on a thread that's just not working with them. Don't do that. If it's like you tried a couple times, it's not working, just delete it and do it again. It takes less than a minute to do that essentially. But you can have a month's worth of that awesome content that we provide now tailored for your practice. And all you have to do then is just implement it. And we do have solutions to help deliver that content that's being generated. But it's a phenomenal way to just save a ton of time. And again, when people ask me, what is the purpose of this? Like, why should I care about this? Or I have a marketing coordinator on my team and they're tasked to do this. No, they're not. What you want them to be tasked with is, how do I make my messaging align with everything I do? Instead of giving them the task of come up every single month with what my content needs to look like for March, what it needs to look like for April. That is so daunting of a task, even for a professional to do, essentially. You can ask my team. We have a team of people having to do this work all the time. And coming up with this content takes a lot of time. We want to make sure that it resonates with the month. We need to make sure we're addressing the holidays. We need to make sure that it appeals to the demographic ultimately. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I will tell you that those newsletters, I have several financial planners that are either clients or whatever. Last month, I had a financial planner reach out to me specifically with a newsletter you guys had sent and said, Irene, thank you for this newsletter because mom's about to go through a bunch of dementia testing. It's brand new. And I forgot to call you. This newsletter reminded me to call you.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then
That's so cool.
that awesome. And
Yeah.
then that in turn, I'm doing a workshop next month with a bunch of business attorneys and succession planning. We're doing it for a bunch of people. That in turn, he spoke about that newsletter at this lunch meeting we had. Holy shit, it's like a rock star.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And all I had to say was, what newsletter? Yeah.
By the way, my mom lives in New Smyrna, by the way, Irene. So anyways, thank you so much for sharing that. So that's what Jim was talking about earlier and why the importance of doing email newsletters. You just don't know what newsletter is going to get someone to take action. When is it going to resonate with a potential referrer or a potential client that hasn't taken action just yet? But that message in that newsletter was the one that they needed to see. I've made so many changes in my life recently, from simple text messages from mentors or friends, people that have sent literally nothing, like 20 words that had me change the way I look at life fundamentally. That happens all the time when you send out these email newsletters. And again, if they don't unsubscribe, they want to see this, they haven't seen a message yet that they want to see that's going to get them to take action. And you just won't know that if you're not posting that content all the time. And we're giving it to you guys. All our clients get that all the time. Irene gets the blessing of having us also send it out on her behalf as well, which is awesome. And so we could definitely talk about that if you're really curious about that. But at the end of the day, it's just super fundamental that you're always eliminating the task of having to come up with what that content needs to look like, and instead figuring out, how do we make it work together? How do we make sure that the messaging that we're putting out in the universe resonates on all levels? So we're attracting the type of people that we want to attract at our practice ultimately. And with that, some key takeaways, guys. Again, the job of AI, it's not going to replace you. Anyone that is afraid that AI is going to replace them, no one's like, I'm the weird guy that wants a robot in his house. My beautiful wife, I want her to do the things that she wants to do. She's here in the audience as well. She's super shy. Please don't look at her direction, but she's so amazing. But I want her to have all the workers in the house. Like, I want robots cleaning and doing things. I'm the weird guy. I want that. Other people don't want that. But anyways, most people don't want that. And so you don't ever have to be concerned about AI replacing you. It never will happen. Yeah. Some of those that don't care about what they do, essentially. If you care and you're making an impact and you've got a good personality, nothing's ever going to replace that. People want humans in their life. They want people that are empathetic, that care for them, and that resonates with their problems ultimately. And no AI is ever going to give you the human feeling, essentially. It cannot replace that. But if you don't care about what you do, AI will replace you ultimately as well. And the best strategy, just take this from the conference. Just take one thing, Notebook LM, guys, or Call Grace, or whatever. Take something that was super simple today and implement it. Because I promise you, once you start playing around with it, you're never going back. You're going to keep playing more and more and more and more and figuring out those solutions ultimately. Oh, we're getting close. And then at the end of the day, just do the stuff, guys. It's really awesome. Q&A.
I just basically have a question about AI created content and its effect on your SEO, and or how Google reads it when it comes up with the suggestions for answers that seems to be prevalent currently.
So Jim had talked about this with like AI SEO, or he touched on it a little bit. So to answer your question, where the direction is going with SEO, and this could be an entire day I could spend on this, but people are starting to use more AI, and Google's starting to use AI as well in its platform Gemini for searches. AI is preferential right now to people that can answer the question directly. So when I prompt a question, whoever's got the source of information that answers, like literally says, this is the question. So when you're doing your blogs and things of that nature, you want to start thinking about like putting the question that you're answering and then the answer essentially, because where the direction SEO is going is that's where it's favoring essentially. You still have your backlinks and things of that nature, and those are very important, but ultimately, like, more and more people are using ChatGPT to ask their problem, and it's sourcing the web now. It's actively, it used to be like it was only sourcing the memory of a web up to a specific point, but now all the large language models are all like GPTs essentially are all actively sourcing live web now. And so this is like next level thinking, guys, but you guys should really be positioning your pages thinking about AI and making sure that you have enough of the answers directly to a problem that people would be asking in your local community. And so here's the problem, like you define the problem on your page, and then here's the answer. But again, that's like a big thing. But yeah, to answer your question, it's mixed right now where it's going with like AI usage and blogs. You still want to still have some element and change in what the content you're making. But again, it's getting with a lot of these models, they're getting so good at what they do now that it's hard to even determine that. Like, for instance, I use ChatGPT Pro. This is going into a tangent. I have Operator, which is so weird. It will control the websites and do things for me. So I'll tell it, like, go to a website and book out like a dining, like, I don't know, whatever, like a dining reservation at a restaurant. And it will go to the restaurant, click, do, and I'm watching it do it on a browser. And there will be sections where it says, like, those like check to see if you're a robot or not. And it's like, it does it. And so it's so good. This robot is passing the robot test. And so it's getting so good that it's hard to determine whether it's AI or not anymore, which is crazy. Oh, sorry.
So for the assistant, the virtual assistant that you had up there, can you program it so if the caller is asking about a practice area that is not relevant to your firm, the assistant can say, we don't practice in that area, or give it some guidance?
Yeah, it can do that. If you have like a firm that you refer traffic to, you can even have it so like, hey, we don't specifically help with that, but we can connect you with the firm, or we can collect your information and you can refer that traffic directly to the firm as well. They can know that it's coming from that AI agent, essentially coming from you specifically. But yeah, you can educate it on what you can or what you do offer. Like, for instance, test mine, but like if you're asking questions about personal injury or whatever, it should be like, we only know estate planning, probate, and elder law cases, essentially. I think, yeah, Lance over here.
Sorry.
No worries, man.
I love AI, so I have like a whole bunch of questions spinning around. Content that's posted on Facebook, right?
Yep.
Usually when it's AI generated, it'll have the little, made with AI.
Correct.
Have you ever come across like any law firms telling you like, we get dinged for this? The people that are, looking for this intel, they find it kind of like, not a lot of people love AI. Like, they're not warm to it as most should be. Do you ever get that type of feedback?
So we don't use it for any of our clients, and we recommend for like the creative. So with Facebook, when you read what it says, like the instruction says, like if any of the video content or the picture image is made to be realistic enough that you need to label it that way. Nothing about the copy itself. You never have to, like, everyone's copy at this point is AI. LinkedIn, 80% of LinkedIn is AI now, guys. It's like my prompt versus your prompt, and our AI agents are just talking to each other. It's no longer original anymore. Like, what we're putting in the universe, most of it is AI. But like when it comes to the creative side of things, you do have to label it. I think right now you are going to be dinged negatively for it, but I bet a year from now they're not even going to care because everyone's going to be going that direction.
So
ultimately.
Copy is fine, but if I'm doing like a video or something.
Correct.
That's
Like, again, if the copy doesn't look if it looks very robotic, it's probably going to pick up on it. Mm-hmm. But again, these models are getting so good at like tweaking that. You just have to spend a little effort and just make it sound human ultimately.
Thanks.
And then I think we have time for one more question.
Oh, I had a question about the AI assistant. So I know it collects information like emails and whatnot. Is it able to initiate a drip campaign from that information automatically?
And so if it's integrated into your CRM through like an API, so, we have a lot of things that are integrated into Lawmatics that then create matters. You can have it tagged, based on the source that creates it. And in Lawmatics, you could have an automation that starts running based on how something is tagged.
Okay.
So the answer is yes, but it not necessarily from the assistant, but from your CRM.
Yeah. Through like CallRail, right? It will tag it.
Right. So like CallRail is an example when we have stuff coming through. But yeah, you can. I feel like it's kind of techy to explain how APIs work and everything, but the bottom line is like it can be done.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could definitely be done. And I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much.
That's a wrap on another episode of the Elder Law Growth Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things marketing for elder law and estate planning law firms. Here you can find all of the tools and skills you need to market your own practice